Hey, welcome to the DPP channel. We are visiting another blue hybrid versus Imperialdramon this time. This video was definitely very delayed for good personal reasons. Now the restriction list has come into effect for the Japan TCG and I'm very happy that you all have no need to experience this blue hybrid nonsense in the English format. Now blue hybrid is easily one of the more aggressive decks close to the yellow hybrid. However, we have today the Imperialdramon to face against it. Without further ado, let's dive right into the game itself. As we do see Pokemon looking at top 5, it's going to pick up the Davis as well as a level 4 hybrid, adding both to hand. Now it's going to shuffle those 3 to the bottom deck, of course. And it's going to play the Analog Boy instead of the Davis here to look at the top 3 to discard more. Now Analog Boy is basically the card to activate your Mega Digimon Fusion. Of course Pokemon can too, but usually the Analog Boy is the more preferred version. Now we do see Hydramon coming down on the V-Mod and killing off that Pokemon, which is going to be very annoying if not dealt with. So very nicely the Hydramon does clear it. That's going to pass 2 memory to the right player here as he does actually go for the Davis finally, looking at top 3. It's going to just pick up the level 4 hybrid here, adding it to hand, and we do see 2 Ice Sword going down to the bottom deck already. And Ice Sword is such a strong card against Imperialdramon because Imperialdramon really want to tempo out with those multiple security checks. As we do hit into a dual tamer there, I'm going to hardcore a V-Mon to just pass the turn, and it's going to start the turn off with actually 5 memory thanks to the dual tamer and Davis. Now the V-Mon will pick up the V-Mon because the other 2 cards are not free archetype, so that's very unfortunate for the Imperialdramon player. As we do silently see the hybrid Digimon being pushed out, it's going to evolve to the Kumamon to actually take out the Digisource, making the Hydramon not an armor Digimon anymore. It's going to evolve to the Korikakumon to actually freeze one of the Digimons here. It's going to freeze the V-Mon. And it's going to swing with the Korikakumon at the Hydramon. It's going to gain 1 main thanks to the blue hybrid and of course draw 1 thanks to the Upamon. Now that's a very clean board state change, and we do see a Strabimon being hardcore here looking at top 3. And we do see the Susanomon, and he's going to pick up the dual tamer of course. The Susanomon however is going to go to the bottom of the deck, which is very unfortunate for him because it's definitely one of the win conditions for him. But so of course going to go for the Korikakumon just to cycle through the deck and of course choke him at 1 memory because he doesn't have any tamer on the field. So that's a very interesting move, but of course he does have something to follow up with those multiple level 4 hybrid stack. It's going to of course hatch to the Upamon first, evolving to the Strabimon. And like I mentioned earlier, it's going to follow up with Beowulfmon, which is of course going to make use of all the level 4 hybrids in the stack. Using its ability, it's going to bounce the Korikakumon back to hand to of course bounce the Hydramon back to hand. It's going to gain 1 memory thanks to that blue hybrid, and it's going to hit into a Davis here, which is fine if you ask me. But of course he can't memory choke him already. It's going to string the Strabimon hitting to a Imperialdramon, so that's very fortunate because the Beowulfmon did not clash into the Imperialdramon instead. Now we're going to see the XV-Mon being pushed out finally, and it's going to swing at security with the jamming ability, hitting to a Beowulfmon, but the jamming really saved the day. It's going to hardcore the Stingmon, and it's going to Jogress Evolution into the Imperialdramon here with the XV-Mon on top. Oh no, so sorry, it's going to actually go in for the Dino B-Mon, and going to make sure that Beowulfmon will stay rested for the next turn. It's going to swing at security with the Dino B-Mon, and it's going to draw 1 thanks to the Stingmon ability, hitting to a Pokemon here, so no Ice Sword nonsense. It's going to actually evolve on top of the Dino B-Mon already into of course the Dragon mode. It's going to allow him to push out the Stingmon as well as the XV-Mon from the Digisource. And of course this will allow him to put him in a lethal range given there's 3 Digimons against that 2 security. But of course the dual tamer, Jokido and Sora will make sure he does start the turn off with 8 memory here, which is very scary as the Strabimon will actually be hitting the security. So this is not looking too good for the Imperialdramon player, but he's going to go for the Analog Boy here looking at top 3 first. We do see more hybrid Digimon he's going to pick up to hand, and of course he's going to evolve on top of them. It's actually going to push out the Analog Boy and going for the Mega Digimon Fusion, so a slight misplay here. He could have used the other Analog Boy instead because this Analog Boy was casted this turn, so it does have the summoning sickness. But however, I would say this isn't exactly a costly misplay because he does have obviously the other tamers to evolve on top of it. So the left player will most likely give him the replay, but however, please do take note to never evolve on the tamer that you just casted this turn. And we're gonna see game 1 here with the Susanomon very cleanly dealing 2 damage out of the blue, no pun intended. And gonna go to game 2 with V-Mon being evolving in the nursery, and of course going to start the turn off with Davis. Now Davis really is a very strong turn 1 card for Imperialdramon player, especially because it can potentially pick up the green Digimon of course, and of course starting the turn off with 3 memory every turn, make sure that the Stingmon, the Imperialdramon, all the nonsense will come down eventually, which the blue hybrid player will not be able to handle. It's going to play his own Davis of course. It's going to see Susanomon going down to the bottom deck once again, and this is going to cost him this game I believe. It's going to hardcore the Strabimon looking at top 3 once again, and we do see the Ice Sword unfortunately going down to the bottom of the deck. Now, in game 1, we don't actually see any Ice War interactions from the right player, and we're going to see a Hydramon evolving, and of course, resting a Shrubimon. We actually be killing Shrubimon, actually hitting the security. He's going to kill the Shrubimon, respecting the aggressiveness that Blue Hybrid can have. He's going to go for the Dual Tamer here to pass the turn, of course, and Hydramon is a blue and a green Digimon, so if you do allow it to live, it's going to be a memory generating machine thanks to the Dual Tamer, and of course, it's going to touch it immediately with the Beowulfmon. It's going to swing at security using the Beowulfmon skill to actually bounce the Hydramon. So the Dual Tamer will activate this turn, and it's going to hit into a Vmon, which is very fortunate, and it's going to play the Dual Tamer to pass the turn. However, he did use the Davis Tamer to actually evolve to the Beowulfmon, and Davis is the one that's generating him memory. Now the Dual Tamer is strong, but it can be played around, as we do see the Vmon being hardcore here, and it's going to evolve on top of the Vmon, so basically the Dual Tamer won't be able to activate its effect of getting memory, and it's getting memory choke at 1 now. He's going to of course use the Beowulfmon and use the Dual Tamer to of course eliminate those G-Source from the Hydramon. But however, the left Imperialdramon player can simply Progress Evolution on top of the Hydramon, and there will be no single Digimon without Digisource on the field, making him still memory choke. He's going to actually hardcore the Pokemon here and picking up the Shrubimon as well as the Dual Tamer, adding both to hand. You're going to see the Dual Tamer gaining a bunch of memory thanks to the Hydramon on the field left. He's going to swing the Hydramon first, hitting to the security, hitting to a Davis here, so very fortunate for him. He's going to at least guarantee 3 memory in the next turn. He's going to pick up the Koi Pokemon, adding it to hand, preparing to freeze. The Hydramon will be evolved here, and of course resting that Pokemon. It's going to hardcore that Stingmon and going to go for the Joker's Evolution as I mentioned on the real Dramon that has no G-Source, and going to evolve to the Imperialdramon. It's going to bottom deck the Pokemon, so Pokemon is easily dealt with here. Now will the Imperialdramon be swinging at the Beowulfmon? Of course he will, because he does respect that card. It's going to swing a second time at the security, and of course going to draw 1 thanks to the Stingmon, and it does hit into Ice Wall, which is very classic. And we're going to start the turn off with 3 memory for the right player here. It's going to push up the blue hybrid Digimon and it's going to swing at the security using a Dual Tamer to take out the Digisource of the Imperialdramon once again. Going to hit into a blue memory boost here, which is going to help him against that ISO setup in the future turns, and it's going to evolve to the Koi Pokemon on top of the Davis once again. And as I mentioned just now, the Davis is very important, but the Beowulfmon will be using its ability to deal with the Hydramon, of course hitting to the security. It does hit into a Imperialdramon though, so it's going to die here, and it's going to actually evolve on top of the Shrubimon into the Koi Pokemon to actually freeze the Imperialdramon. Now the freeze is definitely annoying, but he does have the Dual Tamer to actually gain memory thanks to the Imperialdramon. Going to hatch to the Upamon first and going to evolve to the Vmon here and drawing 1. Now because the Imperialdramon has been frozen, he's going to just hardcore the Vmon here looking at top 4 for a dual blue color card. He's going to pick up the Imperialdramon once again, which is very deadly against the blue hybrid. It's going to use the blue memory boost which he checked earlier in the security to hardcore another Vmon looking at top 4. What is he looking for? And he does actually pick up the Dragon mode into his hand. And he's going to go for the Hammer Spark play here, which is a very interesting move because he's going to evolve to the Hydramon for 2 costs here to not pass the turn. And it's going to actually go for the Hidden Potential Discovered to actually rest the Imperialdramon. It'll be evolving on top of the Imperialdramon into a Fighter mode for free. Now this will allow the Fighter mode to actually bounce the Koi Pokemon back to hand using a Dual Tamer to reset the Fighter mode, but it can't swing this turn, so that's very unfortunate. He's going to cast the Hammer Spark here to actually evolve the X-Vmon for 2 costs on top of the Vmon, memory choking him at 1. Now this is a very interesting move because he doesn't have any nursery Digimon, so he can't actually do too much anyway. So the Hammer Spark can be better used against the Ice Sword, which is going to cast this turn, and of course going to play the Analog Boy to pass the turn. Now the Analog Boy will allow him to search for some hope here. He's going to pick up the Shrubimon, adding to hand, and the rest will be going to the drop zone. And we do see him getting 2 memory thanks to the Dual Tamer, and he does have 3 security left to deal with. So imagine he does have the Hammer Spark from earlier, and it's going to cast it and gaining up to 6 memory, and of course the 6 memory will be more than enough to deal the lethal swing unless he does hit into another Hammer Spark or Ice War in the security. Now he's going to go for the Joker's Evolution here to hopefully draw into the Hammer Spark. Unfortunately, he doesn't draw into it. It's going to swing with the Imperialdramon, hitting to an Ice Sword and hitting to another Analog Boy. And we're going to look at top 3. We do see an Ice Sword going to the drop zone here. Going to pick up the Kumamon and going to evolve the Hydramon to just memory choke him. But with Mega Digimon Fusion, the 1 memory can be used to just evolve to the Susanomon and gonna go for the Lethal Swing here, but he does hint to the Hammer Spark, which will pass the turn over, and of course the Imperialdramon player will start the turn off with 5 memory thanks to the Dual Tamer and Davis, and the Imperialdramon will be doing the Lethal Swing here. Does hit into a Shrubimon, which is not going to do too much, and it's going to conclude game 2, so a very close game for these 2 players. And now who will take game 3, and we do see the Imperialdramon playing going first, evolving to the Vmon, and of course hardcoring the Vmon to get top 3. going to pick up the Imperialdramon, which is a free archetype, adding it to hand. So the right player, we're going to start the turn off with 3 memory here. Now generally, Blue Hybrid is technically very slow because they do require a bit of setup, but because of the Mega Digimon Fusion, they do have that burst, which is going to be very strong in the middle game state. Now we're going to see a Davis being played here and picking out the Koikagomon, which is a freeze Digimon and is especially good against aggressive decks. Now we do see X-Demon being evolved in the nursery, but Davis will guarantee 3 memory for the right player here as he does swing the Strabimon, drawing 1 thanks to the Upamon, hitting to a Dino Beamon. It's going to actually hardcore the Strabimon once again to look at top 3. And we do see a Susanomon going to the bottom of the deck once again, which is very unfortunate to see. And it's going to play the Ice Sword to just stop the aggressiveness for the Imperialdramon player. Now the Imperialdramon player will just ignore the Ice Sword by just playing a Davis here, so the Ice Sword is definitely wasted. He's going to use the Davis to pick up 2 blue card here, which is going to realize it's going to be a misplay, as he does suddenly remember that Davis is pick up a blue and a green Digimon. It's going to put back the Vmon and of course adding the Raidramon to hand. Now the Upamon will be hatched here. It's going to evolve to the Strabimon to just draw 1. And the Strabimon will be actually used to push the security, hitting to Imperialdramon Dragon mode. And we do see an Boy setting up and hopefully searching for the Susanomon. Now we do see the Mega Digimon Fusion and the Ice Sword going to the drop zone. So if you are a Blue Hybrid player, that is definitely very painful to see. And we're going to see a Dual Tamer being played here just to pass the turn, and the X-Demon finally out of the nursery to push damage, hitting to a Pokemon and going to evolve to the Raidramon on top of the Vmon. And most likely you're going to see a Jogress evolution coming down. But firstly, the Raidramon will be swinging at security, hitting to a Dual Tamer again. And the idea against that Digisource removal is just to build a bigger Digisource. So it's going to actually evolve to the Imperialdramon here with the X-Demon as well as the Raidramon. And it's going to have like 5 stack. It's going to swing at security and it's going to gain 1 memory thanks to the Vmon. And actually Imperialdramon or level 5 in general is something that the Blue Hybrid is going to struggle against to deal with. Now after restriction list, I would say that the Blue Hybrid will be evolving to the Magna Gurumon list again, and it's going to be a very strong card because it can finally deal with level 5 easily, which compared to the current version of the deck, it struggles against level 5, but however they of course will be missing that Susanomon Mega Digimon Fusion combo. Now we're going to see a Tommy coming down to take out 3 Digisource from the Imperialdramon, and it's going to use a Dual Tamer to take out the rest of the Digisource of the Imperialdramon. It's going to be naked now, but it does hit into a Dual Tamer here, which is very clutch because the Imperialdramon existence will allow you to gain extra 2 memory. It's going to evolve to the Koikagomon to actually freeze the Imperialdramon, which is a very familiar sight in game 2, which is stopping the Imperialdramon from going for the lethal swing against that 1 security he does have left. That's going to evolve to the Vmon in the nursery. It's going to gain 2 memory, remembering that he does have the Imperialdramon on field. It's going to evolve to the X-Vmon in the nursery for just 2 costs, drawing 1. It's going to evolve to the Fighter mode here to bounce that Koikagomon back to hand. And of course play around that Dual Tamer because the Imperialdramon could have given 4 memory away just like that. So the Fighter mode evolution here is going to be very strong. And of course it does pressurize the lethal given that he does have 2 swing in 1 body against that 1 security. Now Tommy will be pushed out here. It's going to evolve to the Koikagomon and no freeze will happen unfortunately. It's going to evolve to the BO3 here and of course going to swing at the security using the Dual Tamer to take out the Digisource from the Fighter mode, allowing it to only just swing 1 time, and the freeze will happen here to freeze the Fighter mode. The swing at security hitting to the Stingmon, so it's going to be safe. It's just going to play the Ice Sword to pass the turn, but we do have the Dual Tamer and Davis in action, so it's guaranteed 5 memory here. It's going to use the blue memory boost to push him to 7, so he does have more than enough memory to deal the last swing. The X-Demon will swing at security, hinting to Analog Boy. It's going to lose 2 memory and become 5 memory, but he does have enough memory to evolve to the Imperialdramon, and of course withstanding the Dual Tamer, and he does have 0 security left, so the final swing will be game. Now this is the Imperialdramon deck list if you guys are interested in. And this will be the last time you do see such a similar Blue Hybrid list. Thank you guys for watching till the end, and do consider subscribing, dropping a like and a comment if you guys do enjoy the content.